We are back at it again here with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. Here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index, continuing to fight to hold support here above the 470 area and testing key resistance levels. And in today's volatility, our SPY buy at 1 p.m. sent out a bear indicator, and from that moment forward, outflows crossed the midpoint to the downside. Pure weakness there on 42 vision, and put options went up 140% plus within an hour, guys. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots, and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. Here we are with the SPY, the S&P 500 index, fighting to hold support. And in today's video, we're going to break down the key levels I would watch going into tomorrow, what's going on with the inflow versus outflow, and bull and bear indicators. But before we do, I want to share with you guys the home run opportunity that was mentioned this morning over at the Discord. So the home run today was spectacular and beyond expectations. And if you guys want to know about these stocks early on and receive this clarity and edge over the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So the home run today was from our Tesla bot. Our Tesla bot at 9:35 a.m. sent out a bull indicator, and from that moment forward, inflows crossed the midpoint to the upside, full strength on 42 vision, and call options went up 300% plus within an hour, guys. If you guys want to receive this clarity and edge of the charts, you can now gain access to it as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicators, getting connected over to our bots. We look forward to having you join us, and we strive for opportunities like these every single day. Let's jump to these charts. Here we are with the SPY stock, the S&P 500 index, doing a full transition from red bars to bright green yesterday in the second half and today's pre-market, and now coming back down to red bars. The last piece missing to complete a full transition is white with red borders. And if this is your first time coming across the channel, this is 42 vision, which allows us to see the dips from the rips to the dips, and where the strength and weakness lies within the charts. And we also use our bull and bear indicators and inflow versus outflow as an extra layer of confirmation, which I'm going to pull up here and you can now gain access to as well. The link is down below in the description to the 42 vision indicator, getting connected over to our bots and becoming part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together by receiving this clarity and edge over the charts and using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down. And in today's video, I'm going to pull up the inflow versus outflow indicator, which adds that extra layer of confirmation and gives us that edge within the volatility. So here we are with the SPY stock, the S&P 500 index, under a bear indicator for the first time since the bull indicator that popped up down here at the 462.60 level. It found support above the 464 area, breaking through the resistance of 465, testing key levels up here of 470, and the next resistance we were watching was the 472 to 475 area. Broke through 472 and hit highs here today of 473.75. It's done a double top here so far and sharply dropped back down slightly below 470, and it's fighting here to stay above it, and now under a bear indicator here at 472, which has acted as a key resistance here in the second half of the day and into the after hours, right? So 472 is definitely something to not ignore here, and the 470 area as support, right? Which that's a tight range there, and we're going to break down the key levels I would watch beyond that if these outflows or inflows start to dominate, and how these bear indicators and bull indicators react. So far we have a bear indicator so far here on the 30-minute, but when we zoom out to the 1 hour, no bear indicator just yet. since down here at 455.90 area, I would just round that up to 456. It was used as support last Friday, and you could see that strength there all week so far with bright green bars and no bear indicator just yet, just red bars. To complete a full transition to the downside, there would need to be white with red borders, as I call it, the dip area on 42 vision. We have not seen that pop up, nor have we seen a bear indicator just yet. Now, we are here again with bright green bars, and it is fighting to stay above 470 in the after hours. But if we go ahead and look at the volatility of the 15-minute, we could see a bear indicator popped up at the 472.22 area, rejected on that next pullback, and it did a double top once again up here near the 473 area, sharply dropped, and it broke right through that support of the lows of the first half of the day of 471.50, and it is fighting here to stay above 471 and the 470 area in the after hours, but it is under a bear indicator. Now, we're going to go ahead and pull up the inflow versus outflows and break down the key levels I would watch going into tomorrow. Here we are with the SPY stock, the S&P 500 index, with outflows beginning yesterday in the after hours and leading into today's pre-market, and the middle of the day it crossed the midpoint, right? We saw that things were not collapsing to the downside. We broke that down in yesterday's video because these outflows had not crossed the midpoint. They were going downwards, but it had not crossed, and once it did, we could see how quickly things started to reflect into these charts from the 473 area coming down to 469, and here it is fighting to stay above 470, starting a staircase effect here in the after hours with inflows coming back up and trying to pull away from the midpoint to the upside. Definitely something to not overlook here within the charts and what's going on within the volatility of the 30-minute, that outflows did dominate briefly in the middle of the day and inflows have picked back up, and it's going to be crucial and critical going into tomorrow for this to continue pushing up away from the midpoint. I'll be watching that very closely. Now, when we zoom out and look at this from the 1 hour, we could see here how outflows began for the first time today in the pre-market and lasted all day. A sharp decline here from the inflows of 8.42 all the way down here to 0.93. Now, it never crossed the midpoint to the downside, and that is why things did not continue to the downside, right? It found support and it's tried to bounce back up because inflows are still dominating, because if it does cross the midpoint, it could quickly start to reflect that weakness into these charts and test key resistance levels. So I'm going to be watching that very closely as well. Now, when we zoom into the volatility of the 15-minute, we could go ahead and see here how many times it crossed up and down, but the inflows are dominating again here in the after hours at 0.47 and starting that staircase effect here as well. And it's something to not overlook as it continues to fight to stay above the 470 area and try to retest the resistance of 472. Now, what are the key levels I would watch? Well, the first thing is support, guys, and the first support level is the 470 area. If these outflows cross to the downside, I'll be watching if that weakness rolls over into the 30-minute as well, pulling it down to the downside, crossing the midpoint, and then the 470 area, if it gets crossed, the next level I'll be watching is 468, and then below that is the 465 area. These are the key levels I'll be watching to the downside, especially these inflow versus outflows, as they're really close to the midpoint here and trying to fight to get back up. But if they cross to the downside, it could quickly start to reflect that weakness into these charts. Now, to the upside, it's going to be crucial and critical for these inflows to continue trying to stay above the midpoint and push upwards. And as you see it here in the live action, it just switched from green to red, getting closer to the midpoint. And that's something I would not ignore here. Within the volatility, it needs to stay green and pull upwards away from the midpoint on the 15-minute. Roll that strength over to the 30-minute, and the first resistance is the 473 level, and then above that, I'll be watching the 475 area. So these are the key levels I'll be watching to the upside and to the downside. The bull and bear indicators are going to be crucial, and the inflow versus outflows, I would not ignore them. And as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.